So this is a continuation from last week. So I'm going to go over a few things from last week. So we have Fred, and you can feel this as we apply the anatomy on ourselves. So we have our right ilium. You can touch your right ilium if you want. Yeah, you can feel it, right? So here's the crest. You can feel the front of your hip bone. There's Gloria. Okay, there's our left ilium, the front of the hip bone. So you can feel the top crest of it where all of the muscles above it connect. Yeah, so there's muscles there. So here we have the quadratus laborum muscle. Some of you know this one is called your QL muscle. And what it does is it attaches onto the top of the hip and it anchors your rib cage down. So its job is to anchor your rib cage. Whenever you have one hip that lifts up or hikes up, yeah, this muscle tightens. So if you have any sort of imbalance or a scoliosis in your spine, this muscle will be really tight on one side for you. And so some of us feel that in our body. I know I do. I have my left side. It's in your back, yeah. So it's in the back of the hip attaching onto the rib cage. So that's the front body. So I haven't got to the front body yet. Here's our rib cage. Here's the xiphoid process. Yeah, so you can feel that. All right. There we go. Just having a little problem. Is my mic okay online? Is it okay? Yeah, okay, great. Then we have our pubic bone, which is in the front. Yes. And now I've got a cord because I'm hoping this, if I had it colored, I could have brought a colored one. A strap. Could you get me a strap? Yeah, maybe a blue one? Thank you. Yes. Okay, now we're thinking. Thank you. So I want to talk about, there was a question last week because I briefly went over this and it's not really this big, but we're going to use it. So there's a ligament that attaches to your xiphoid process and your pubic bone. It's called your linea alba. So it's a fibrous ligament. Then all around this is fascia. And when we have a sheet of fascia in our body, it's called an aponeurosis. Try to say that 5 times. Okay, so you have the linea alba, and the linea alba's job, you can see it goes through the torso, right? So one of its jobs is to anchor the torso. It creates stability and anchor for you. It also is a ligament that all of your internal core muscles fold into. So we have in the front your 6-pack, which is the rectus abdominis. It's a vertical muscle. So a lot of you in class, and I'll show it online in a moment, are looking at photos. Then you have your internal obliques and your external obliques. So these help you to breathe, but they also help you to twist in life. The other one that you have is your deepest core, which is your transverse abdominis. It starts from the back ribs, the top of the hip, and it wraps around. And so all of these muscles fold into the aponeurosis and your linea alba. Hey Fred, when there's a little dysfunction here, and I'll use that piece of paper to show it because all of you have seen the visual. And we're gonna let Fred know. I wish I could strap on muscles to him. I thought the easiest way was I printed out a photo. So let me see if I can hold this. We've got a fan going in here. So here's your rectus. Okay, so here's the white is your aponeurosis. That's your sheet of fascia. And then you have the side. So here you can see your external obliques. Okay. The very deep, the most superficial, which is closest to the skin, are the rectus and the external obliques. Okay, so the external are your side force. Whenever you're twisting, you're grabbing something, that's how we strengthen those. Okay, the rectus, when you go to sit up, when you go to gather your belly and you blow the breath out, you pull your rectus in, you can increase your exhalation, right? The cavity of your breathing. So this is what it looks like when it's healthy, when it's working effectively. When your transverse abdominis, which is the deepest core muscle of all of these, so we can't see it because it's on your surface. It's right in front of all of your internal organs. When it's not functioning properly, you start to get a little separation in your rectus muscles, in what is called your aponeurosis, which is connecting to your linea alba. It's called diastasis recti. A lot of us who maybe have had children, if we have had any children, or maybe haven't worked on our deep core as much, might have this happening. Okay, so when we have this, we have a little bit lack of integrity in the torso. And sometimes when we exert energy, we'll push our abdomen out instead of pulling it in and together. Okay, so there's two components of this that I want to think of today, of left and right side of the body. So there's an exhale of your transverse abdominis. I'm going to show in my body. You can have your hands on the side of the body. So we're going to stand up and you're going to feel an exhale of both sides of your body coming together. And I want you to focus around the navel because this is the place where you're going to feel it the most happening. And you want to feel all around your navel, this gathering in. And then you can start to work above and below. So there's an exhale, sometimes a shh. Good. Can you feel that happening? So it's like when we put on a jacket, right? We put on one side, we put on other, and then we pull one side of the jacket in, and then we pull the other side of the jacket in. So this is what we're doing. We're pulling the sides of our jacket or our sweater together. Now, the next step is from your pubic bone and the lower belly, you need to start to lift up. And as you lift up, you'll start zipping up your zipper. Hey, do you feel that without letting go of both sides of the body coming together? Are we getting that online? We feeling that? Yes? Okay. Okay, good. Questions? Clarity? Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes, thank you for the question, Seamus. Okay, so question was, which I'm going to repeat it for those of you online because you wouldn't have heard it, is when we breathe in, are we still, no, we got a siren going through here. Are we still trying to keep the integrity, right, of this? So the answer is yes. Yeah. And so sometimes what we do is we inhale and we let it all go. And then we exhale and we gather it back in. So we're going in and out of connection. Right? So you can gather this. When you inhale, you can still maintain your container. It might not be a full container, but you can breathe inside of that container. So you can hold a little bit of integrity as you inhale, and then you can reaffirm it on the exhale. Yeah, good question. Thank you for that. Okay. So I want to think of this today in our practice because this lift up supports all the lower body. So some of us have knee issues and we might have one side of our lift pelvic floor that isn't functioning properly. And so I know for me on my left side, the coming in, but also the lift doesn't work as well. So I have to really pay attention. My right side comes up and it lifts, it gathers in quite well, but my right side doesn't lift as well. And I get a little bit of knee pain on this side.
I guess you can't necessarily feel it.
You can feel it. Yeah. Question was, can you feel it? Yeah, you can feel it because you have to be lying down, but you can actually stick your fingers in between because your rectus is split apart. Yeah, it's better if you're lying down to check it, but there is a way to check it. Okay, so we're going to start standing. Okay, Fred, we're going to put you here. Is that okay? Yeah. And I want you to grab whatever you're going to use for, we can pull them. Yeah, if you want to pull them all the way into the corner, James, that would be fine too. Okay, so foot rolling, but also want you just for a moment to grab something to put in between the thighs. So I've got an inflated ball, but you might want to grab a block. Okay, so you can have, so where you place the ball or the block matters. Because sometimes, hey, we can place the block vertically. Hard because I've got dark on dark. I apologize for that. You can also turn the block. You can move where you have the block so it can be lower or it can be higher. Same thing with the ball. I tend to find for me it quite helpful to have the block or the ball very close to my pelvic floor. I also like the block for me in a little bit more if I'm going to use it vertical awareness. That just helps me, but you might be very different from me. So do what feels good for you. Yes. Now check that your feet are the same distance as your legs. Yeah. So you want to bring your feet a little bit closer, Susie. Yeah, there you go. Aha. Now you're starting to feel as your feet are hip width apart. Just relax for a moment. Let the arms be quiet. Okay, palms facing forward. Now I want you to just start to feel your feet. So as you breathe in the nose, out the mouth. Start to notice, how are my toes connecting into the mat? So how are they pressing? Which ones root and which ones don't? The toes connect to the front of the legs, the front of the knees, the front of the thighs are psoas into the lower part of the pelvic floor. Palms can face the body. They can turn forward to open the chest a little bit. Then I also want you to feel your whole heel. So you've got a circle. So that means you can feel the left outer part of the heel, the back, the inner, even the front top of the heel. Now, as you press down, I'm going to stand back a little bit so you can see on camera. We've been feeling the top point of our head. So as you find that circle of a hair that circles at the back, and you move your fingers just slightly forward until you feel the peak of your skull. And then you're going to press up into your fingers with the peak of your skull and down through your feet. As you exhale, I want you to squeeze that ball or block. The thighs, the thigh bone, your femur is going to internally rotate a little bit. And you're going to feel a widening of your sacrum, of your sit bones in the back body. So notice when you push up in the head and down through the feet, what muscles activate? You can hold that for as long as you want. See if that SH breath, wrapping right and left side together into the aponeurosis, into the linea alba. Each time you exhale, you squeeze the ball. So we're just thinking of left and right. The other part, remember, once you've got the left and right side drawing together, is the up. There it is. 70% effort is your max. Once you feel like you have your inner integrity or containment, keep whatever sound you need, keep whatever you need. I just want you to notice, can you breathe in and out without losing too much of your integrity? Yeah, just going to give a moment for you to experience this. I can feel a little bit. So here's my belly button. I can feel for me where I have a little separation in my rectus, a little in my lower abdomen. I have to really pay attention. And this could be a discovery over the next couple weeks or month that you just explore what's happening here. How are you connecting right and left side? And how are you lifting up and zipping up? Okay, so you're going to remove your ball and your block because these are tools to allow us to feel how we activate. Now you're going to find whichever foot you want to stand on, but find the down, the up, the left and right side of the body coming together, plus your internal lift. And wait for that leg to lift. So try to see, can I gather both sides of the body together and lift and zip up? Keep all your toes, your whole circle of your heel on your standing foot. Left knee, you're getting it on? Okay. Just want to notice. So when you're ready, you're going to start to foot roll whatever foot is in the air. Now watch, how many times do you let it go? And see what happens. I know for me, when I let go of this internal core, I'll find myself kind of slumping, right? I find that I no longer have a length in my torso. My front of my chest gets really tight, okay? And you're compressing all of your abdominal organs. So I want you to feel the top of the head, the down through the feet, the lift, and the gather. So anytime that SH breath wants to come in today, your hands for a little bit of guidance, a little bit of introceptive awareness. As you roll from the heel to the toes, we're combing out the plantar fascia. So what that means is we're going with the muscle grain. And so when we're tight in an area of the body, when we feel a little adhesion or gripping like we do in the feet and sometimes in other parts of the body, combing, okay, is really helpful. We do that also when we come up into the tapping. You might find a spot where you just want to hold and rest or comb in one little area because you feel tightness. But if you're pausing, you're coming into compression. And this signals in the muscle fibers to slowly allow the muscles to unwind. And with that, the fascia will start to unravel around it. The other technique that we do often in this class is when you have compression, which is the basis of it, and we start to spin. So I talked about that last week. It's like taking your fascia when you have a little bit of dehydration or stagnation in the fascia. And when you squeeze it, you can think of the fascia like a sponge. When you squeeze the sponge, all the water is released and then you let it go. and it rehydrates. Yes. Good. You can wrap the toes over your ball or the dowel. You can stand both feet on it. It's already getting hot out, isn't it? Luckily, we're going to be close to the floor for a lot of the class today.
Val,
Yes.
is the expanded breath while you're doing this core work through the side ribs and the top of the ribs?
Really good question. I'm going to repeat your question for the people in person. So we just had a question online of when we're breathing, is the breath more in the side ribs and coming up and widening through the sternum? Yes. So instead of breathing through front body, we can breathe laterally. That's another thing to layer on. So if it's too much, let it go. Okay, but yes, Gloria, great question. Thank you for that. Yeah, so there's a couple things that I've layered on today. And if it's too many things to think about, just focus on one. So you might just focus on today, I'm just going to bring both sides of the abdomen together. Some of you might focus on bringing both sides and the zip. And then the last piece, which is the most advanced, is keeping all of that and breathing into side body. But remember, if it's too much, just break it down. You're going to do other side at any time. Okay, so wait. Feel that gathering together, the zipping up, the lengthening up and down. As you lift the other leg to go into foot rolling. Yeah. That's making a huge difference for you, Susie. Yeah. Okay, I feel a little, because I wanted to notice what you were doing on that foot. Big toe, inner heel, more. Press it. There. Yes. Okay, you can feel how that connects. So what we're doing in the feet is connecting to this lift that we feel. So if you're having a hard time feeling your pelvic floor, you're rolling and doing this as I'm talking, feeling your pelvic floor lift, you might notice, is my big toe of that standing foot rooting into the floor as well as my inner heel? This is your inner heel. There's your big toe. It's your medial arch. Yes. Yeah, right? So remember, we're all connected. So I felt that specific, there we go. That toe is now down. And that's going right into effect the line of stabilizing your knee into that side of your pelvic floor. Yes, I can start to feel just as you were connecting it, it ignites. So don't forget that. I'm going to send this recording out. Keep it. Listen to it a couple more times over the summer, okay? Yes. Yeah. This recording is going to be able to be accessed all through the rest of July and all through August. Okay, so if you are enjoying some of the concepts, just hold on to it. Just file it somewhere and just go back to it. Okay. So I want to try to bring this into a little bit of movement now. So if you choose, some of you may find, I'm feeling that I just want to try to connect with this without something in between the thighs. Or some of you felt, you know what, having a ball or block in between the thighs was really helpful. So you might once again bring it in. So it's up to you. We're going to go into a forward fold, and then we're going to do a little bit of squatting and lifting through the body to connect to this deep core line and what we're focusing on before we go down to the floor. So take a moment. I'm just on my side so you can see better. Take a moment to reaffirm the feet. Remember, there's a little internal rotation of your thighs. Squeezing the ball, gathering in, pressing the feet down, all the toes, especially the big toe and the inner heel. Okay, so you can place your hands just on the pelvis. As you exhale, bend the knees a little bit, squeeze the ball, and then let your pelvis release back as you root back into your heels. The torso will come forward, just come into a right angle. If you have lost a little bit of that left to right side, do an SH breath. Pull in towards that linea alba and up. Good, your arms will dangle. So you can keep doing that SH breath. You're reaching out through the top of your head forward as your gaze is down and back through your sit bones. Those of you that have the capability, you're breathing into side, maybe even into back body a little bit more as you swing your arms. We're helping to stabilize our back right now. We're using that linea alba that all of these muscles connect into, and that sheet of fascia, they connect into the linea alba. And if you want to go deeper, this is up to you. You bend your knees more. You think of your sit bones lifting up towards the ceiling as you fold down even more. It does not come from your lower back. We're moving from the power of the pelvis. You're inverted, so things become a little bit different here in perception. Now, to come up, we're going to bend the knees and we're going to sit the pelvis down and lift the torso. So we're in chair. So you can start to just feel chair for a moment. Notice, is there parts that I can lift up together, out the top of the head? Maybe the arms want to come in. Yes, you've got it. And it's really the sit bones that are sitting back. So you imagine you've got that chair behind you. So every time you sit in a chair, this is you. Hey, then you're going to release the arms down. We're going to press into the toes. See if just the heels want to come off a little bit. Keep the big toes. Pull up through your string. Come back down. Sit back with the sit bones. Good. Lift the heart a little bit. Gather right and left side. SH. Feel that for a few breaths. Yes. Good. When you're ready, try to come and lift up. And it comes from the toes, pressing down, especially the big toes. Thigh squeezing. There it is. Yes. Good. You can feel how the big toes want to come off, right? We have maybe one side. Maybe it's both. One last time into chair. This is going to be our other one. We just want to build. I want you to get connected with this awareness before we go down to the floor. When you're ready, check in. How are my knees tracking now? Are they going over your second and third toe? They can pass the ankle. Yes, nice. When you're ready, one last time up onto the tippy toes. When the arms lift, it makes it a little bit more challenging. So you kind of check in. Think of the top of the head. Feet press down, top of the head pulls up. Good. Release it. Do we all feel our legs? Yeah. Okay, good. Hey, let's do a few swinging twists just to release that. So now we're getting into our twisting muscles. Okay, external, internal obliques. They start from the side and then they feed in to that sheet of fascia in our lydia alba. Oh, so we're just going to start to twist. Keep drawing in, lifting up as you're going into this axial rotation. Okay, maybe it's doing less. You slow it down when you're ready. Okay, the one thing that we start to do as we start to practice this internal core is we start to clench the upper shoulders and the neck a little bit. So we're going to release that, but I'm also going to say through the practice, I'm going to try to remind myself, no neck, no shoulders. Hey, no neck, no shoulders. Try to keep this quiet. So as you inhale and you draw your shoulders up and create a little bit of compression, you're going to roll it back. You can bend the knees, exhale out the mouth. Inhale, squeeze it up, roll it back, then release. Draw it up, roll it back, let it go. Couple more. Notice which side of your body is not connecting. Is it both? So you do one more and then we're going to switch and go the opposite. So when we move, it is the most challenging part to keep connected as we move. So that might mean that you slow things down a little bit. Maybe not go at your regular speed. We're bringing in a new awareness, a deeper awareness. We're layering on what we feel and how to keep integrity. When you're ready, let's just do the next one as we squeeze up and then you drop and let go. Squeeze up, press your feet into the floor, let it go when you're ready. Couple more, your rhythm. Last one or two. The one for the neck that I like is think of your nose as you look straight ahead, having a pen on the end. And then you're going to very slowly just draw a little circle with your nose to allow your skull and the neck to find a more fluid articulation between the two. When you're ready, you're going to turn and draw your circle with your nose in the other direction. So just wanting you to bring some fluidity to the communication of the upper neck and skull as we've released the traps. And when we have this inner integrity, you can pause when you're ready. You're going to feel more connected to your inside space. And you're also going to have a little container around you so you're not so affected by the world around you. Okay, so we're going to take it forward now. So you're going to find the top short end of your mat. Bring your feet together so you feel that you have hip width apart. So you can find the feet, the heels, that lift of the lower belly, the left and right sides coming together. Notice which toes for you need to connect more. Root into the floor. There you go. Hands come together, palms touching right in front of your sternum area. At the very top of your linea alba. As you exhale, feel right and left sides of the body come together. Press the feet down as you inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. They go from the pelvis, not the lower back. So if anytime we're doing flexion or we're bending over, we're squatting and we're getting pain in our lower back at the end of the day, it is because you're moving from your back rather than your pelvis. Hey, you're going to plant your hands, so you have to bend your knees as much as you need to get the hands down to the mat. Nice and wide, the width of your mat. Step back, big step with right foot left, come into downward dog. Hey, bend the knees if you need to. Press the mat away. Gather left and right side of the body in towards that center line of the linea alba. See if you can pull up. Breathing into side and back body, if that works for you. Walking out the legs, one at a time, one heel reaching to the floor, other knee bent. And then switching. Now you have a choice here. If your knees are feeling discomfort, you can bend the knees, swivel the hips to one side and come down to the floor. If your knees are feeling okay and you want to come down to hands and knees, you can. You can widen them. You can start to sink your hips back a little bit, keep the hips high, bring forearms down, or sink the hips farther if the flexion of your knee is okay. We haven't done any lateral stretch yet. So if being in child's pose is not working, to walk the arms off to one side, pause there, and then the other, you can come into seated. So I'm just in seated demonstrating this. Of a side stretch. Yeah, and you can come off your kneeling. You can stay in kneeling if you want. Yeah. So if you're going to one side, you do one side. Then you switch and you do the other. Those of you joining me in a seated, you're just going to allow yourself to flow. Inhale as the arms transition. Exhale over to one side. Yeah, good. You can really feel this into that QL muscle that we talked about, the quadratus laborum. As you feel your pelvis root down and you reach up through the side body. Other variation is interlacing the hands behind the skull and allowing one elbow to reach up as the hands and the head lean into each other. Good. Yeah. There you go. Think of one elbow going down and one elbow going up. There it is. Good. Better, Alexander. Good. Some of you are moving into a little spinal wave of cat-cow. Good. And you've got support on your knees for this one. Some of us in the studio. But wanting to just feel a little exploration. So I want you to do, I've just got my slow-mo ball beside me, but I want you to do a couple rounds where you lead from the pelvis, sit bones going down, back rounding up through lower back, the lower ribs, the shoulder blades, the upper ribs, the neck and the head, and then lead from your sit bones as you inhale, lift up. Widening. Now notice what happens to your container of wrapping, especially when you inhale and you tilt the pelvis towards the floor and the lower back arches and the thoracic body arches. Can you notice how sometimes we just let it all go? Okay, and you might even find putting a block or a ball in between the thighs a little helpful here to keep containment as you gently squeeze it. As you inhale and exhale, and notice, does that make a difference for you to keep the inner thigh squeezing your ball or your block as you inhale and exhale? Yeah, good. That made right away. Hey, Caroline, that made a big difference right away. The minute you did it, I could feel it, right? I felt it come up. Yeah. Hmm. Hey, and only if you want to, you can even try, and you can do this on hands, you can do this with the legs extended or on knees. Okay, so you can unravel and come forward into a plank. So this is half of our wave. So I'm just bringing the wave in a little bit sooner today. Sometimes we end on it, and then you round back into a modified child's pose. I've got the block in between, the slow-mo ball in between my thighs. I'm squeezing it as you come forward into a plank. And just check in with that. We're just bringing a little bit of the poses in to stabilize. If that's too much, come onto the forearms. You can unravel to bring the arms stacking and then modify it in a child's pose. You can tuck the toes under and lift the legs and even notice, oh, what does it feel like to be in a plank? So I'm doing forearm plank here. This is the pose that is really going to help you find right and left side of the body. Yeah, there it is. You can do hands, you can do forearms. Remember, when you check for forearms, your fingers are just touching your outer elbows on the floor. There you go, a little bit closer. Yeah. And then you can interlace the hands. So just try that. No neck, no shoulders. How was that, Susie? Yeah. Your plank. Yes. You can plank your plank. Yes. Yeah. Uh-huh. Good. Good. Mom's even doing a dolphin. She's getting fancy back there. Okay. Hey, do you feel your core now? Yeah? Okay. So let's now lie down. Yeah, good. Everyone, a lot of people in the studio here said good. Yeah. Awesome, right? Because that's good to be ready. So we're just going to lie down, and I want you just to feel how you're touching the floor. Let your arms take up space. Let your body move a little bit. I've still got my inflated slow-mo ball in between my thighs, but you don't have to. I'm just letting my legs wiper a little bit from left to right. So we bought in strength for the first part. Now we're going to use some of that strength to move into fluidity. So we're just going to find the ground. Let a few breaths out the mouth, a sigh, maybe even a pursed lip breath. The other one that's coming in is that sometimes I call it the rumble or horse lip breath. And that it's a really good one because it connects your mouth anatomically, connects through your spine to your pelvic floor. So we can relax this whole inner core line with doing the horse lip breath. So you inhale and you try to relax your lips and let them rumble. Less effort. There you go. Good. Let that flow for as long as you want. So I'm going to give you two options because we're going to move into the tapping in a moment to do some myofascial release. And so you could have your pelvis on the floor if that feels good to bring the legs up in the air. Other option is to have a folded blanket underneath your pelvis or a chip foam block. Those of you at home, if you have a throw pillow, sometimes even a bolster works. More challenging for your core is the semi-inflated slow-mo ball under the pelvis. Okay, so you choose what is working for you today. Exhale into, if you put something under the pelvis, let the weight of your pelvis drop into it. Let's let a breath out our mouth. Good. Now let's do a couple SH breaths, or just drawing each side of the body together. Shh. Do it a couple times. Find this gathering of right and left side because we're now on the floor. Now, with the left and the right side coming together, I want you to now think of lifting up through your lower belly. When you do that over time, your legs will just float up towards your torso because you're lifting your legs up with your inner core line. Knees stay bent. You're having your tapping tool, whatever that is. I'm using the short dowel. You can use any wooden tool from home. Hey, you're going to allow the knee to be bent and you're going to tap. You're going to start with the lower leg that is up in the air. So you can have one leg bent. You can have it on the floor. I like to keep it in close to me. So you don't want to tap on the bones. You want to tap above the ankle through the outer shin. Bend the knee even more to tap through the Achilles tendon into your calf and the inner ankle. We're also going to do a little hydration. So this is called combing, and we're using the dowel here. And some of you have rolling pins at home, and some of you have the rolling devices specifically for the fascia. But what we're going to do is we're going to pin it. So we're going to create some compression, and then you're going to drag the dowel over the flesh, maintaining the pressure all the way up to below the knee. And you're going to do that through your shin, avoiding your shin bone, through the calf, inside. You're going to move in between combing, tapping, shaking, massaging with your hands. Good. You can also gently go on either side of the knee. So I'm showing the outside of the knee. And you can do the same thing. I'll do my other leg on the inside. So I lengthen my leg a little bit to feel a little release here. You can also, if you want, put the dowel, which we haven't done too much, behind the back of the knee and just squeeze it for a moment, just to affect those pooling stations of the lymphatic system that we've been working with. Okay, so you're doing both lower legs first and then move up. Notice where you're feeling a little bit of holding here. Notice where there's a binding. Yeah, good. When we're doing this tapping, we're connecting into our mechanoreceptors. And these receptors in the fascia they notice mechanical movement. So vibration, shaking, walking, stretching, jumping. They allow us to feel more aware of our body moving in space. So we feel more grounded. We feel calmer in our nervous system. It's a way to drop into your physical body. You want to move on to the upper thighs. Okay, feet can touch the floor. Then you can tap upper thigh. You can bring the leg towards you for combing. You can also circle the hip if you want, the leg. Bringing in a little range of motion for pelvis. And you can choose maybe to go into figure 4 if you wish. Hands can slide through. So you're going to go back to the fascia education on the mechanoreceptors. So as the receptors are responding in the fascia to this vibration, to this shaking, to this movement, to the stretching, okay, so all the mechanical movements of the body, mechanoreceptors, okay, they help us to feel more proprioceptively aware of our body, which is going to help us with balance, which is going to help us with feeling grounded, which is going to help us feeling calmer in our nervous system. It also, when we feel more proprioception, our nociceptors, which are the pain receptors, those are the receptors in your body that respond to pain. So less proprioception, more pain in the body. More proprioception, less that your nociceptors are going to fire. Pretty cool. That's a really interesting educational awareness that's new in the fascia. It's almost like when our body is giving us pain, it's pulling us back in. Hey, recognize this. Come back to yourself. Hey, notice something. And the more we drop in and we notice our body and we tend to our body and we befriend our body, then we're also befriending our nervous system. And then things start to calm. So the receptors aren't as fired. They're not as active. Oh, this feels really good on the back of the hamstrings. Yeah, good. Excellent. Whew. So you'll know when your legs are done. Some of you might go, but I've not done my legs yet. Then you stay in your legs. Hey, if you're done, we do like to do the tapping through the whole body. So I'm just leaving a little bit more time because we did a lot of our physical movement to start. So we're going to then bring and let go of our, excuse me, our dowel and our tapping tool. We're just going to use the palm of the hand. So you can have your fingers together and you can just touch the abdomen. You can massage it. You can tap it. We're just going to get into the visceral fascia, which is around our internal organs. So this is the very end of your vagus nerve. We've also been working the fascia and the muscles here to come together. Tap around. Use your right hand to tap the left side of your rib cage. Use your left hand to tap the right. Come and use both hands to come up through the sternum. So we've just connected through all those muscles that we had been working through the linea alba, up to the sternum. We can bring in, which is optional, a bee breath, a humming breath, the touching of the lips together and humming. It's a bumblebee breath. You can tap the sternum at the same time. This helps your immune system. It helps to nourish your lungs. It also creates a short-lived gas in your body called nitric oxide, which is a vasodilator and a neurotransmitter. You're distributing oxygen and feeding your cells. Some of us find that it calms the mind. And research has also shown that it helps when we do this breath, the breath of the bumblebee, that it helps to release fascial stiffness, which is so amazing. That vibration is so powerful. Arms can be in the air. You can take right hand and tap down through the arm all the way up to the upper arm. So you can start at the wrist, the forearm, go into the upper arm. You can also, if you're tapping, I'm tapping left hand. So I'm taking my right hand, index and thumb, and I'm just combing down the upper arm, the elbow, towards the shoulder. So helping to release any stagnation in our body, in the fascia, but also in the lymph. And if you move it towards your clavicle bone, right underneath your clavicle, the subclavicle is the vein that all of your lymph transfers back into and moves back into your cardiovascular system. So really helpful for your immune system. Okay. So you can roll over to your side. You can stay on your side and tap, or you can sit up. I'll just turn around a little bit. You can take your dowel or your tapping tool and tap through shoulder blades. Okay, so you don't want to tap right on the spine. We have the spiny process, so all of our vertebrae, except right at the top of the vertebra and the cervical spine and in the sacrum, they're a little bit different shape, but most of the vertebrae have a spiny process and a transverse process. So we just want to tap towards the spine, but we can tap over the shoulder blade. Nice flat bone. Top of the shoulders. This is really good for the health of our lungs. Our lungs, we're tapping our lungs right now. And then you can tap through the lower back. So getting into our lat muscles, which attaches onto the arm, flows through the rib cage, moves into fascia called your thoracolumbar fascia, and feeds into your sacrum. So we can tap down on the ilium. We didn't talk about the sacrum this week, but we did last week. And the lower back to the left and the right. So sometimes when we get lower back pain, it's because our thoracolumbar fascia is dehydrated. So sometimes even doing a little bit of combing here, you can feel the quadratus laborum muscle lives underneath this fascia. Good, excellent. So notice how you feel. Once you're done your tapping, just pause on the floor. Usually end tapping with a little bit of palming. This is optional if you want to go into it. If you do, you rub the palms of the hands together. Create some energy. You can place your hands, the heel of your hand on your cheekbone, the palm of the hand can press over the eyes. You can put a little bit of pressure or not on the eyes. If you put a little bit of pressure or just let them be in darkness, it's a tool to calm your and balance your nervous system. Let yourself be breathed here. Notice how you feel. You might be more aware of your body as a whole, which is a great thing. Remember that tapping is a tool to feel more grounded, aware, and embodied proprioceptively. Okay, so we're going to slowly, at your timing, release your hands. Okay. We're going to do a couple poses from the series now as well. So either if you're challenging yourself, you're putting your inflated slow-mo ball under your pelvis. If not, you're putting your folded blanket, your bolster, or your chip foam block under your pelvis. Okay, we're going to pop a ball or a block in between the thighs just to find the core. We've been working on gathering left and right side. So I want you to feel this now. Exhale as you squeeze the ball. Feel right and left sides come together. Your center line, we're using that linea alba. Okay? And as you create that lift from the lower belly, pelvic floor, with keeping the knees bent, the thighs will come up towards your torso. So the legs come up towards you from your inner lift. So whenever you zip up, that's what keeps your thighs close to your torso. Extend the shins and the feet, elevate the arms in the air, palms face one another. Keep squeezing your ball, keep the left and the right sides of the body gathering in, keep zipping up. Let the elbows and knees bend as much as they need to find this alignment. So imagine your feet are still aware of rooting and reaching up into the air, toes and heel, as arms and legs come towards one another and away. So only go so far away that you can keep your alignment. Just going into canoe. Use that SH breath if you need to. Feel the inner lift. Breathe into the side body, maybe even into the back ribs. Some of you can reach out the top of your skull. That point we touched at the very start. There it is. Yeah, so the arms and legs flow away and together. There you go, Philomena. And so you bring your arms away from one another. So your arms go overhead, legs go down towards the floor. Yeah. Yeah. And then the arms and the legs come back towards one another. Yeah, there you go. And so they go apart and together. Yeah, there it is. Keep your core. Now we're seeing how can we keep our core as we're moving on the floor. Good. Then you're going to draw your legs towards you. You're going to remove your ball or your block in between the thighs. Shake out your arms and legs in the air. We're going to go straight into scissors. Okay, so you're going to lean a little bit of your shoulder blades into the floor. Lean your pelvis into the floor as you bend your knees a little bit. Sorry, not the floor, your block or your blanket. Now you're going to move right arm and right leg towards your torso and your skull. Left arm, left leg towards the floor. It's not going to touch though. Watch that left leg and the right leg are still internally rotating in. Then you're going to bring the arms and the legs together and then separate left and right arm, left arm, left leg up towards torso head, right arm, right leg towards the floor. Good, yeah. They're not touching the floor, but we're keeping that integral gathering. So anytime you feel you lost it, so right here, I can feel I've lost my integral. Here's where I have it. So I'm only going to move in my range of motion where you can feel that integral connection. There it is. Good. Just watching you online as well. It's like you're squeezing that ball. Yes. Good. Good alteration there for you. Good. So your left hip's lifting, Caroline. There you go. There you go. Reach out through your heel, down through your toes. Good. Now pause. Come back. Drop the feet to the floor. Good. Rest for a moment. I like that. There's like a little literal drop to the floor in the studio. Good. So just take a moment here. We're going to just do a little axial rotation to see how do we axially rotate. So you can have the ball if you want in between the thighs. We're just going to keep the arms on the floor today. So out to the side, draw the legs in, gather up through the core. Feet are hip width apart. And some of you I know like to have a block in between the feet. So I'm trying to do this without my hand, your choice. And you can have your feet just in space or squeezing. And then you're just going to exhale, wrapping around, allowing the legs to come to one side, center, exhale to the other, center, and exhale. Feel the wrapping. If you want to go into intermediate, you can. That's your legs extending. So you kick a ball in space, inhale, legs come down, exhale, extend the legs, kick a ball in space. There you go. You've got it. Core twists. These are really important because these are helping us to know, how do we twist in life? Can we keep integrity? See if your palms of your hands want to be on the floor and you're pushing the floor away a little bit. You got it. Just being there is really good, Caroline. Just feeling that, right? Yeah, there it is, right? That integrity is right there for you. Good, you're going to let it go. The feet are going to come to the floor. Yeah. So we're going to do one release of the arms and the shoulders. So you might just want to be flat on the floor here. Okay, with the knees bent. Some of you also might want to take the bolster and just put it under the pelvis just to allow the body to open and the back to release. We're going to release the thoracic body and the side body. This is where we've been working today. If you want anything in between the thighs, feel free to have it. I'm going to do one last piece of fascial nourishment before we end. Palms touching, elbows bending, forearms parallel to the body. Feel a little squeezing of the ball in the block, a little wrapping of right and left side, just a little engagement, maybe about 20, 30%. Then you're going to extend your arms overhead. Fingers and palms of the hands are going to come together as the fingers point to the wall behind you. And then as your forearm and your hands come back, you're going to separate the heel of the hand. So just the thumbs and the pads of all the fingers touch. Then as you exhale, the palms of the hands touch as the arms extend overhead, pointing towards the wall behind you. Then as the hands come back, the heel of the hand separates. Pads of the fingers and thumbs are only touching them. Ah, there you go. Just doing a little fascia release here. Releasing rib cage, side body. We did all that work today. Okay, and the next time your hands come to the heart, just extend your arms so your fingers point to the ceiling. Lean thumb and the pad of all of your fingers. The center palm of the hand is open and away from one another, like you're holding a little globe there. But the thumb and the pads of the fingers are gently leaning into each other ever so softly to feel a little internal engagement of the muscles. Now, as the arms travel down towards the top of the thighs, then the fingers point towards the ceiling and they come a little bit overhead. Try to keep the leaning of the thumb and the pads of the fingers. Elbows can bend as much as they need to. We're just nourishing the whole thoracic body. So we're also tugging on the thoracolumbar fascia in the lower back. As your arms go overhead, you might even feel your shoulder blades slide up your rib cage towards your neck. And then as the fingers go up to the ceiling and down, your shoulder blades slide down your back towards your waist. That's a good thing. You can release this when the arms come down to chop towards the legs. You can release your arms to the floor. You might stay here. You can take out the ball to block. Some of you might even do a little psoas release if you choose by extending one leg. Keep your pelvis on the floor or on the bolster, toes pointing. You can roll the leg in and out. Arms can go overhead. I'm doing that variation overhead to release the diaphragm. And the upper part of the psoas, we have a lower and an upper. And some of you might want to release your back line by reaching out through your heel of your extended leg and then rolling it in and out. And that will tug on the back just to re-lengthen it out. And then when one leg is ready to come in, you slide it in and you do the other side. Toes pointing first. Rolling the leg internally, externally rotating. Then pushing through heel. Rolling leg out and in. As you come back in, maybe both legs come up to the chest, you give them a hug. You can rest on the floor. You can also keep the bolster there if you want and just extend the legs up in the air and go into what we would call a variation of shoulder stance here. And so I'm using the awareness of trying to check in. You can have your legs closer towards you. This could be more in feeling a variation of plow, or trying to stack your heels, your knees, your pelvis. We're just resting there. You can come out at any time. Good work. Take a few breaths here. Let it out the mouth. You got it. A couple more breaths out the mouth. Feel the work and the awareness that you brought in today. I'm going to read a piece of poetry, and this is from a poetry book I wrote a couple years ago called Gifts of Insight, and the piece is called Heart Knows. The heart whispers as the ears listen. The heart moves along waves of grief. The heart fires through transformation. The heart knows the way. The heart knows the way. You feel yourself. Some of us have sat up already. Some of us are still on the floor. But just checking in on how you feel. You're just resting in whatever position that you're resting in. And before you come up, if you haven't come up, but if you have come up, just pause for a moment and just see what is a little gem of insight that came in today that maybe you take it off the mat with you. Allow this insight to come in where you move through it throughout your days. So giving yourself this awareness as you start to wiggle fingers, toes, Reach, stretch, yawn. And do whatever you need to come back into yourself. And come into a seated position when you're ready. There's no rush though. By rolling to a side and coming to sit. So take a moment to feel your level of pressing down through the pelvis, gathering right and left sides, lifting up, zipping up your zipper as you reach out the top of your skull, arms to the side, palms face forward. Now remember, if legs don't feel good, cross them straight. Still keep this level of engagement. Exhale out your mouth. Good. Inhale, gather up what you need to receive today. Gather it up and up and up. As your palms touch, exhale, receive it in through your skull, your face, your throat, your heart, your lower body, pelvis. Do that a couple more times. Inhale, gather up what you wish to receive. Bring it in. And do one more rhythm. This time, pause at our heart as the thumbs touch the sternum, so the very top of that linea alba. You might even feel the sternum lift a little bit into the thumbs as the thumbs rest into the sternum. That's a little connection of lift for you. Feel your body, feel your breath. Notice how being aware of body and breath helps to calm and stabilize the mind. If your eyes were closed, open them. Lift the gaze. Great work today. Thank you for being here.